Hey, greetings everyone. Daniel Lowry back with another episode in our Learning Python series. We have been making hacky things to help us learn the Python stuff. And it's been a lot of fun. We were really working our way through it. And then I came across this thing that I was going to incorporate into another episode, which is the next episode, which will be all about opening files, reading from files, and using files in our Python code. But I felt like it was going to take too long to try to incorporate both. So I'm breaking this out into its own episode, and it is format strings. Daniel, what are format strings? Well, they're fancier outputting for format, right? Or fancier output formatting. So far, we've encountered two ways of writing variables. Of course, if you're reading the documentation, it is. But what we've been using is print. That's us right there. Straight up print jobs, right? We see that like here. Here's a multi-line print statement. There's a single line print statement right there. Where else do we got print? There's another print, right? Getting fun, getting a little kooky, right? And then, no, not right there, but here's another print statement. Again, getting a little kooky, getting a little fun. But we've been printing all over the joint. We're pretty handy with print at this point. And that's why I feel like it's a good time for me to introduce you to your new friend, format strings or F strings. So what we can do is it says that often you'll want more control over the formatting of your output than simply printing space-separated values, which how do they know us? Because look at all this. We've done a lot that's not just a simple print, right? We're having to put in variable names and then concatenate stuff and give the separator value and so on and so forth, right? We've had to really kind of get some control over our print statements. Can this help us? Well, it says there are several ways to format output. To use formatted string literals or F strings, format strings, begin a string with an F or an F, a capital or lowercase f, before the opening quotation mark or triple quotation mark. Inside the string, you can write Python expressions between an open and closed curly brace character, and that can refer to variables or literal values. And then they give us a lovely example. Hey, thank you, Python docs. This is where I really enjoy Python documentation, is it does a very good job of this, right? Here's a year variable with an integer of 2016. We have an event with a string variable type of referendum. And then you have, there's your lowercase f, results of the year, open curly brace, and it just uses the year variable name and calls that integer value right there between the curly braces. Does the same thing for event, right? There's event, which is a string data type, goes in there between the curly braces, close it off with your quote, and then bam, it says the results of 2016 referendum, right? 2016 is the year, referendum is the event, bada bing. And this, that is a whole lot nicer looking than kind of some of the stuff we've got going on, like this action, right? I feel like we can make this better. We could do better here, right? So let's start refactoring this code and see where we can use format strings to our benefit. All right, so let's see here. First of all, let's start off with, what I just saw this. I don't like that. You'll notice I always like to start off with something like this right there. This does not have that. So I'm going to put that in there. I'm going to do that. And I'm going to do, anytime I ask for input, I'm going to do a line like that. I like that better. It seems like a prompt. You know what I mean? And then this has a print. Target URL of URL. Okay. We are going to use that format string. Bam. So the first thing we do is we put an F before the quotation mark, right? Everything else should be fine. Target URL. Well, not everything else is fine, right? Because we got to work with this guy right there. Okay, because that is our variable name for our target URL. So I'm going to come in here. I'm going to take that business out because I don't need it anymore. I just put curly brace. And I put a curly brace. And bam, close it out with my double quotes. Dunzo. That was simple. This is so much nicer looking than what we had before. All right, where else can I apply this? Because this making me happy. and make me happy. There's a print statement right there. This is really going to clean up. Okay, trying creds. And then we've got this comma name, comma this, comma that, separator, blah, blah, blah. Okay. Let's see here. What we need to do is add our F. And then you know what I'm going to do? I'm going to do it like this. I'm just going to comment this out. Let's make it like that. And then let's go after this guy here. And let's just rewrite the print statement. Let's so print, do this, F, quotation, and then we give it the open square, star, close square, close square. Thank you, Daniel. Trying, creds, tilde, arrow, space, this. Oh, I don't need that anymore, right? That no longer exists. I just need to call name in between curly braces. So curly, name, curly, boom. And I can put my colon right there, and then I can open curly, right? Because the next thing I need to do is put the word variable. So I'm going to call that variable word. Close my curly. I don't even think I need this anymore. I think that's all said and done. All I need to do is close my quotations and do that. And then I think the same thing is going to be true for this print statement. So let's do it again. I'm going to comment that out. That way, if I need to go back to it or look at it, it's still there. Kind of giving me what I'm looking for, right? Reminding me, as it were. And I'll do prints. Oh, that's not where that goes. Back here, son. Prints. And then F. Open my quotes. The same thing. With the exclamation points. Close the square. Success. Ding, ding, ding. And then curly brace. Name. Close curly brace. Colon. Open curly brace. Word. Close curly brace. And then double quotes. Close my parentheses. Look how much cleaner that is than this business. I mean, that worked. There's nothing wrong with what we've done before necessarily. It's just a lot more code. It's a little more difficult to work with. It's definitely more difficult to type out and make sure you got all the bells and whistles where they're supposed to go, right? Everything is in its proper place. Doing it with the format string was just a whole lot easier, right? Could I do it down here as well? Yeah, I could turn this into a multi-line print or whatever, but I think it's fine. I think we get the idea. Working with these format strings could be so much nicer in our output. Let's save this and run it and see if it works. Files, save as. I will make this 7 and hit save. There we go. Let's test it. I'll see it. Oh, first let's ls make sure it's there. Yep, there it is. Excellent. chmod plus x brute dash force dash v7 dot pi. Now let's fire it off. Dot slash brute dash force dash v7 dot pi. Everything's looking good so far, and you can see my prompt is now changed. It looks a little better. I like that. Enter my URL, which is http://192.168.1.1. What is it? 6.3. Yeah. Losing my mind. bwap/login.php. Everything looks like it works. Everything is formatted correctly, right? I got no errors. I got my target URL showing up. Everything is looking right. And this is a whole lot cleaner code. So now I could come in here and go, you know what? I don't need that anymore. I want that gone. Take that out. I don't need this anymore. I'll leave. Yeah, let's take out all these code lines that we don't need. We don't need this print statement anymore. That looks good. I'm going to leave this as this is a comment. This is an actual comment. That looks nice. That looks nice. Everything's nice. I like it. Format strings, you've been so helpful. Don't forget to save, Control S. And then verify that it still works. We didn't break anything when we saved it. Looks good. http://192.168.1.163 or whatever yours is. bwap/login.php. Everything's working. No weird formats. No weird characters. No weirdity going on at all. I love it. It's making me happy. Hopefully it's making you happy as well. This was cool. And again, like I said, this took us almost 13 minutes to do. That would have made the next episode way, way, way too long if we tried to incorporate that. So that's why I kind of want to break it out in its own thing. Simple little thing, but a useful little thing as well. And there you go. Format strings, F strings for the win. Thank you for joining me today. We'll be back with more because next episode, right? The next episode, I promise, the next episode, we're going to read from files and use those files as a way to, as like dictionary brute force mechanisms. It's going to be a lot of fun, so you got to tune in for that one. Thanks, and don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoyed this video, and we'll see you in the next one. Until next time, have a great day and keep hacking.